Hey, I'm Carla.
And I'm Cesar.
Welcome back to another episode of Carla and Cesar's Modern Life.
Episode 52.
It's been a little while.
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been 8 months since we published an episode.
Right? Wild.
We've done reactions, but it's been
oh
a while
yeah,
since...
maybe that's why it seems like not that long.
Yeah, we recorded
But
with
still.
this nice setup before. But yeah, it's been a minute. And we should start with our biggest life update in the past 8 months.
We got a cat.
Hell yeah.
Baby Groot.
We'll put pictures right here on the video so you can see how amazing she is.
She's so cute. She is the best thing that has happened to us in a long time.
Yeah.
She's our little bestie. We've had her for 6 months now, and she's finally like fully feeling at home, where she will sleep with like next to us on the bed.
Oh yeah.
For a long time. It was here and there, kind of sporadic. She would hop up on the bed with us randomly, but now it's like pretty consistently as of like, I think as soon as we hit 6 months with her.
Yeah.
And I had read online that it takes 3 months for a cat to get comfortable in a new place. And although I did notice her getting more comfortable at 3 months, and now I feel like she's like fully at home.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
So yeah, she's just been so fun and has added just, I don't know, like I didn't even know that I was missing a cat in my life, but it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Like she just like makes life, I don't know, she makes like I'm coming home from like work or wherever. Like I look forward to it like that much more because I know I'm going to see her. Yeah. She's a feisty little one. She is brat. She is cute. She's everything.
Yeah.
And at first, do you remember we didn't love her name?
Oh yeah, Baby Groot. We were like, oh man, like we might have to change that name. I mean, she was 7 when we got her.
Yeah.
She's 7 now.
She was 6, almost 7.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we figured like maybe we'll do like
abbreviated like Baby G or something like that.
Right. But no, actually her name fits her really well. And it took me a minute. It actually took somebody else pointing it out to me that she's actually named after a tree, which is crazy.
Yeah,
like what are the odds that I would end up with a cat named after a tree, since I love plants so much?
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was meant to be. She's really happy here. She was, I think, happy at her old home at one point, but then the family grew. They had 3 little boys in like the last 5 years. And so it was just, I think, too much like
stimulus for her.
Yeah. It was overwhelming. So here she lives with 3 adults, and it's pretty quiet. She's home alone, like not most of the day, but a lot of the day.
Yeah, so a few hours. I mean, 5 to 6 hours a day she's alone. And then like you'll come visit on your lunch break, and then Alex, your sister, our roommate, also would kind of see her throughout her lunch break. So she's not like isolated,
right?
And so yeah, I mean, I feel like she's living a good life.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, yeah. She had been anxious where she was before, so she had been like the back of her legs were bare, like her belly was bare, and she has hair all in those spots now. And I genuinely thought, like when I reached out to my doctor to get a doctor's note, I thought like it's like I thought you were going to be the one benefiting from having a cat, because like for the emotional support. Yeah. But really it was me that needed it, and I did not know. And I am so grateful that we finally did this, because it was really scary. Like neither one of us had ever owned a cat before.
Yeah. I was like, just do it. I'll just one day I want to show up and there's going to be a cat. That's all.
I mentioned it once to somebody at work, and I don't even remember saying it, but they remembered, and then they followed up with me about it. They knew, so Baby Groot's old family is my coworker's family friend. And so she knew that they were trying to rehome her, and she was the one that like put me in touch with Katie.
Gotcha. And
yeah, it just worked out perfectly. It was at my new store, which wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have transferred. So it's just one of those things that like remind you that like timing is perfect and things are always working out.
Yeah, that's true.
The way they're supposed to.
Yeah, I didn't think. I mean, I wasn't like a big fan of cats. I didn't dislike them, but I don't know. Just having Baby Groot just made me feel really connected to like, I don't know. It feels good.
Everyone should have a cat.
Yeah, I agree.
She like reminds you to like slow down and like be in the moment, and she's just so fun to watch.
She does funny things.
She does.
And you'll see videos as we talk about it. We're going to work hard on that one.
Okay.
Baby Groot display on this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure hopefully like in one of the episodes that we do, she'll pop up if she comes in during the recording or something.
Yeah, I feel like today's an off day since we're moving things around.
Yeah, we're getting a new couch today. So yeah, that was Baby Groot. That was a bigger life update. And then the last episode we recorded, we had talked about, our open marriage and how that was the thing that was going on in our lives. And now in November 2024, where it's been a year since we decided to do that. And yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff happened since we talked about it on the show, but lately it's been pretty chill.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I just feel like what I felt was missing in my life at the time that we decided to do it, like I am no longer like, I think that I had like a lot of like love to give that I didn't realize. And now that I have Groot to give it to, I'm like, I'm good. And I didn't even know that that's what it was. And I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So I don't feel motivated to like go out and like, put myself out there like that. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I also don't want to like not do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're open to it, but it's also like, well, at what point, like when do I have time for this too?
That also, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so it's like you're not saying you're closed off to it. You're just like, what, like you're the same thing. You're like, when I want it, and it's like, we talked about too, like, are you using that as an excuse to not put yourself out there?
Right.
And I feel like, I don't know. I mean, it's up to you if you want to seek that,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just like, I'm good where we're both at. And maybe if you start, then it'll motivate me. But otherwise, I feel like I'm good right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I don't know if we didn't really get into the details of like dating anybody. But since the last recording that it did happen I went out with somebody and it was, I think it was just a situation where I was learning about it too as it was happening. So maybe I wasn't as prepared as I should have been for something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not a lack of like trying. It's just hard to be in my situation too. Cause it's like, how do I even introduce that to somebody? At what point, is it like, okay, like this is who I am. This is like, it's just tough to introduce that. It's like a scary thing because, and ultimately like, I'm just scared of the rejection from it,
And also we talked about last time how we were planning on just like learning about it through other people that have or had been in the similar situations. And that also kind of fell through for us because we were on an app trying to meet people who were in like
even like to meet friends that were in the same
was also difficult.
Yeah, it was like a lot of ghosting for no reason. Like it was like,
which made it seem like, are you guys even real?
Yeah, because we're like I'm pretty straightforward on there. Like this is who we are. Like this is what we're looking for, and it's like so weird for what you can't scam me. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like so things are a little stagnant for both of us right now, and I feel pretty good about being fulfilled and everything. We had talked about it before. It's just a matter of like, oh, if I'm attracted to somebody, why not try? And maybe I'm just a little bit like too slow on it. Like I'm like trying to build some kind of communication before I'm like, oh, by the way, do you want to go out with me? So I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. It's been still open to it and still looking for opportunities, but there's just so much going on in our lives right now. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Part of that for me is I went back to school. Also, thanks to Baby Groot, I feel like she gave me the confidence and like motivation to like that. And apart from like what I talked about on the previous episode of just like getting my things together, I was I was hoping that this would give me like the confidence to like actually pursue something more full time with like my plant thing. And I feel like it really has kind of like validated that like there is a lot of work to like be done like in this area. And like I feel like for me, I know that it's like the way like the law of attraction works and all that stuff, like I don't need to know the how. And I'm like, fine, I still need, part of me still wants to know, like, how am I going to get there if I have like a vision of like doing this full time? But something I've been working on and I think like I've been getting better at is like not needing to know all the steps and just trusting that it will work itself out the way it's meant to.
Yeah.
But also having these classes under my belt does make me feel better about like, oh, okay, like I actually do know what I'm doing and I'm learning like basically how to back up what I'm saying.
Nice.
When I have like a recommendation for a plant, like in terms of like trying to like nurse it back to health, for example, or
yeah. I mean, and you got to look at it like even in the situation you're in right now, you're going to school to learn more about the thing you're trying to invest yourself in. So it's like every day is progress. Even just studying, it's like you're learning so much.
Yeah.
And I've seen you follow through. Like you have all those plants. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was what I was trying to say. You're doing a good job.
Thanks, honey. Yeah, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm trying to like not get in my head about it because in the past when I've been in school, it's just been kind of like something that like I'll cram to study to like get a good grade and then I forget about it. And that's how I feel like I did most of my school before this. And I feel like I've been pretty conscious of not doing that and spacing out my studying and actually like also like not stressing out over things that are out of my control and kind of like going with the flow and trusting that like, I don't know, just like I like for my tests and stuff, like I haven't really been as nervous as I would be before.
Nice. And
part of it is like I don't need to be taking the classes, so I'm not pressured to have like a good grade, I guess. But even though that's the case, I like have A's in the classes, which feels good.
Here for the kids.
Oh, okay. Thanks. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. I don't really have a certificate in mind that I want to complete at OCC, but just in case I do decide that I want to transfer somewhere with this, like I'm trying to do a good job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, keep it up.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, and you doing that has inspired me to start thinking about doing that as well. There's just so many hobbies that I have that I want to, because for me it would be more about like enriching something I want to do that's like a hobby that I already have. Because you're pursuing you're building towards a career. So I'm not trying to say that's a hobby, but I'm saying that for me it would be like something I want to enrich a hobby of, you know.
Yeah.
Because I mean I know all I'm going to learn about recording at this point. But I want maybe just creating a business itself. Like I think that's the part that I'm lacking is like I just kind of go with like, oh, I get a client here, I get a client there. And it's like I'm trying to build a portfolio, but it's like I'm just busy doing the work every week too.
Right.
But yeah. So I wanted
You're doing great, honey.
Thank you. Hey. Shout out to both of us. So I wanted to get into a story that I had saved up for you to tell you on here because we had said like we're going to start saving stories that we encounter in life to tell each other on the show. Okay. So Thanksgiving, this episode is going to drop before Thanksgiving. And it just reminded me of, so I work at a place where people sell clothes to us and like one-on-one, like a resale place. And so I encounter some weird people. And this one was like, I was trying to not come off as like, I didn't like this person, but I just feel like our energies are just like the opposite. And the reason Thanksgiving reminded me of it is like, we start off like, we're talking about the holidays and then she's like telling me like, that she doesn't like Thanksgiving because it's like celebrating colonization. And I agree with that. Like, I'm not saying that's the idea of it, but I was trying to get to the point where I was going to say, honestly, we just have the day off and why not just try to enjoy it with family? Like, that's how I look at it. And I thought that was a fair point, but she was like stepping on me to the point where she just said it was wrong and there was no me saying anything to it. And so I think that caused like some friction. And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I like this person. And then, and I was like,
somebody that you had
encountered before?
Yeah.
No. I think I maybe had seen that person around the store before, but I'd never like bought from them. And it was just, I was like, dang, like this is really negative. And then it just kept escalating where I had to have somebody else take over because I just felt the tension between us.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know if there's anything I could do to prevent that. Just sometimes you just don't vibe with people, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's very rare for you to not be able to like find some common ground with people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can only imagine the tension. And also, like, do you think you handled it well?
I mean, I try. I feel like the older I get, the more my face can't hide my emotions anymore. Like I just look annoyed, and I try to say the opposite. I try to like always de-escalate, where I'm like, no, it's fine. Like it's, but yeah, no. At one point, they were like, "Am I driving you nuts?" And I wasn't even helping them anymore. And I was like, "No, it's fine." But I was like,
wow.
It was just really awkward to be in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously it's okay to have like different opinions and
yeah, it
like,
was not. I kind of agreed with them on the fact that they were saying about the colonization on Thanksgiving. I was like, yeah, that's fair. Like I'm not celebrating that. I mean, it's just special to me because I get to celebrate with my family. You know, that's it.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely obviously like the origin, but I think it is what you make it.
Yeah.
And if you want it to make it a miserable day for yourself, like that's okay. Like you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But
and
you don't have to.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like she didn't meet me halfway, where it was like it was wrong and that's it. And it's like I was trying to give you the gray area. Yeah, no, it was just not a great time at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because if anything, you can just see it as like a day to practice gratitude for what you do have. So if you can't, like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's like no changing their mind. So like, what's the point? Like, that's not why you're there anyway.
Yeah, and it just felt like, oh man, this is turning into a heavy conversation that we don't really need to have right now. Like I was like, just tell me how your day is going. Like it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to just be like, let's start over. And then just, change the subject. Which
that person ended up having a lot of things and ended up taking us an hour and a half to get through that.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Okay, so you wanted to talk about you had some notes to share?
Not necessarily. Well, I know that one of the things I try to talk about on here is like some of the work that I'm doing on myself and some of the progress. And recently I have been listening to an audiobook that I feel like has made a big difference in the way that I think. And I feel like it was like the missing link for me in my self-help work because I feel like for a long time I was feeling stagnant and feeling like, okay, well, now what? Like now that I have this knowledge about myself and like these tools, like what can I do besides just try to like stay on top of it and not fall behind? Because I feel like the tendency with me is to like get comfortable and then eventually like fall back into my old routines of like thinking that is like unintelligent thinking is the way that they put it in this book. The book is called A Changed Mind by David Bayer, Bayer. And I originally found this person on YouTube. He's like a motivational and like self-help coach. He's a speaker. He's an author.
Oh, wow. Does it all.
He's like such a, like just listening to him talk about like the things he does is like, it's like soothing because it's like, oh yeah, like everything's going to be okay. But this audiobook, I kind of just listened to it. I mean, I wouldn't say passively, but I listen to it while I'm doing other things. And so I listened to it 3 times in a row, basically back to back, because every time that I do listen to it again, I find things just sink in like different every time. And this 3rd time that I finished listening to it, in the very end of the book, he has like a morning routine that he does himself and has like, he swears by it. And so many people have benefited from this routine. And so I finally like put it down on writing, or I typed it up. just so that I can start processing and then hopefully like applying it.
Mm.
Some of the things I already did, but he just recommends like being consistent with it at least for a week up to like 30 days and then just see like what you notice in how you start your day and how that like sets the tone for the rest of your day. He talks about like having a powerful state of thinking and a primal state of thinking. And I was already aware of like a lot of my limiting beliefs, but I just hadn't been able to like catch myself early enough to like stop thinking. And I think that was one thing that was holding me back. And so I'm curious to see like once I do start like applying these steps, what sort of changes I'll see.
Nice.
But it includes like gratitude journaling, visualization, meditation, all things that I've done before, but just in this way that he recommends. And he talks about a decision matrix, which I won't go into because I don't really like know it. I mean, I haven't done one yet, but it's like a way to question your beliefs and question like why you're having like fears or things surrounding a topic.
Wow.
So I'm excited to like implement it and hopefully talk about it more next time.
Nice.
But yeah, if you're into books like that, I highly recommend it. I recommend his podcast. I usually watch it on YouTube, but I know it's on streaming everywhere too.
I can post a link to it in the description too.
Sweet.
Nice.
But yeah.
Nice.
That's it.
Well, before we get into the scenarios, I have some advice I need to ask you for.
Oh, okay.
So I think that I don't know what I'm trying to figure it out because I started going to therapy, which is something I haven't mentioned yet.
That's right.
Another one.
Congrats.
Thank you. So I've been going to therapy for a couple months now, and we always talk about things. Like I kind of come with an idea of like, why do I do this? And then we kind of break it down. And something I recently discovered is that I am really bad at introducing myself and learning people's names when I meet them. So I'm working now at the place that I worked at for almost 2 years, and the places that sell food, there's a few of them in the same area, so I get to know the people. And they're really nice, and we talk all the time, but I don't know their names. And now I'm like, what do I do?
You're like, it's too late to ask.
It's too late to ask. So should I just be like, hey, I'm sorry, this is awkward, but I haven't learned your name.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because they might not even know your name. I mean, they might if you have to give them your name for your order.
Nah, but yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you could do is you could ask the other person for that person's name, and then when they're not there, you can ask that person. Just kidding. No, but
I would just have to do it one time with one of them and just be like, tell me everybody's name. So
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here, I'll buy double today.
So was your question like, what do you do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's like rude to ask
at this point.
Yeah, because if you just admit like, hey, like I feel weird or not bad because
I could say, I'd be honest. I'd be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, yeah.
And just say you're trying to get better at like learning people's names. Like, I feel like people can respect the vulnerability because you're putting yourself like out there, like,
Yeah.
Not easy to do, but I think that, I mean, you already know that they're nice people, so
yeah, I think they'll be understanding. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if my parents never emphasized that or something, or I'm not trying to blame them, but I'm like, what happened along the way of me growing up that I didn't learn to introduce myself right away to people? And now I have to catch myself and be like, no, you have to remember to do this every time. Because I can't tell you, I wouldn't be able to share any other stories on here because I don't want to embarrass myself and people that I know that might hear this. But yeah, it's just tough. Sometimes I have to go on their Instagram and be like, oh, okay, this is who this person is.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So should we get into the scenarios?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our least favorite part, I mean, I can speak for myself, is sometimes getting to reading these scenarios.
Yeah.
So we thought if we're going to do this again, we would get our people we know to read them, or with a little help of some robots to, do some text to speech. So that's what we're going to do for a couple of these. And I already kind of listened to them, and they're understandable. So I'll let you. We'll get into them.
Okay, cool.
All right, this is the first one, scenario 1.
I love my wife. She is intelligent and sweet. Also, she is beautiful inside and out. She teaches high school English and social studies. She loves novels and usually has several on the go. However, she cannot follow the plot of a movie to save her life. Unless it is about a big city lawyer visiting her hometown to shut down the local factory, but instead reconnecting with her high school boyfriend, who is also the local baker and mayor. I've known this about her for years, and I have accepted it. I just like vegging with her. So I am happy to see white people rediscovering the magic of Christmas, or whatever. When we were dating, we watched The Matrix. The question she asked had me wondering about her. Ditto for anything complex. Even The Usual Suspects, where they lay everything out for you, she didn't get the ending. We had her sister and brother-in-law over for a couple's night on Friday. We made supper, and the plan was to watch a movie. Her sister wanted to watch Shutter Island. I will not spoil it, but the movie has many twists. The ending is awesome. I tried my best to suggest anything else. The new Laura Dern movie where she bangs the kid from Hunger Games. They all ganged up on me and said we were watching Shutter Island. My wife proceeded to embarrass herself by not understanding the ending and asking questions that were not great. Her sister and her husband were looking at my wife like she was Simple Jack. I tried my best to cover for her or telling her I would explain it later. She got mad at me for not just answering her questions. After they left, she started on me. She said that she noticed that we always watched a certain kind of movie and that she thought I enjoyed them. I said I did because we got to spend time together, and that made me happy. She said that she was not an idiot and that she just didn't concentrate on movies. She recited the plots of several novels to prove her point. I said that I had never commented on her intelligence and that she was smarter than me. She says that I'm a jerk for not watching movies I enjoy with her. So I agreed, and we watched Memento today. I think her head almost exploded from not asking questions. I saw her on Wikipedia reading the plot. Am I the jerk for intentionally not watching complicated movies with my wife?
Oh. So what did they think that she was? Simple Jack?
Yeah.
That was funny. Aw. I can relate. I feel like sometimes things go over my head with movies.
Yeah.
I think I process things slowly.
Yeah.
Definitely like slower than you.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can relate to that. But why is there shame around like asking questions?
Well, I think that he just doesn't want to have to explain it. Like that's what he's trying to say. He's like, hey, I'll watch some simple movies with you so we can just enjoy it and have a good time. So I'm not working hard either. So
that's funny. So is he the jerk for not wanting to watch those movies?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Because then if it's not enjoyable for you at that point, then you shouldn't have to do it.
And he even told her, he's like, I enjoy watching those movies. He's like, I like watching white people learn the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah, it sounds like the point is that he enjoys spending time with her, and why can't they just do that?
Yeah. So I don't think you're a jerk. I think it's just, I think you just gotta love each other, guys. Like, what, you can keep watching the movies. Like,
yeah,
she likes to read books. That's totally fine.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with reading books instead of, you could just watch chill movies and read some complicated books. I like that she's like, I'm a smart person, and she's recited plots to different books.
That's funny.
This one was about this.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, maybe there's like something there that she just does process things differently visually versus like reading.
Yeah.
So that's okay, but yeah, I wouldn't blame you for not wanting to answer questions. So I don't think you're the asshole.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Scenario 2 here.
My son, Sam, had his 9th birthday today, but we're having the actual party tomorrow night, which is basically just a sleepover at our apartment with 2 friends. One is in his class and the other in a different one. Before my son even got home from the bus, I got a call from his teacher, Lorna, requesting that the party involve all the students in the class. She learned about it because it came up as the class wished him a happy birthday. I at first politely refused, saying that's not reasonable, but she insisted to make sure nobody was left out. I respond by saying that she has no say in who is at my home, ever, and that even if she did, my apartment simply cannot accommodate 32 kids and guardians. She says that because other students are involved, she does, and that I should have the party somewhere that can allow all students. I was ready to either hang up or tell her off, but what she said at the end sparked an idea. I tell her, okay, what's your address? And when she asks why, I told that since you think you have a say and you want all your students to be a part, we might as well have the party at her house. And request her address again. There's a pause before she says that's not exactly what she meant, and I tell her that no, she wants everyone to attend, so she should be the one to make it work before hanging up. This is where I probably became the asshole. Out of curiosity, I easily found her address and email her. How does this email sound? with an excerpt to the group email chain saying that Lorna has offered to host Sam's birthday party at home and to come after school to X address. I was not planning on actually sending that to anyone else but her. I just wanted to prove the point and felt I was being sarcastic, but I know tone is hard online. She responded to not send it and to do whatever I want for the birthday. She does not care anymore. When I vented to my husband about it, he called me unhinged, but he agreed with my point. I'll admit, I have a bit of a habit going overboard when I feel wronged and probably went nuts, but I can't believe the audacity of this lady. But am I the jerk?
That voice was funny.
So she sent an email saying we're gonna have the party at your house.
But
she pranked
didn't
her.
send it.
She ultimately just pranked her.
Yeah. I don't think that you're a jerk.
It was a harmless prank. I mean,
Yeah,
but
that's what it sounds like.
She still went above and beyond, though.
Yeah. The fact that she went out of her way to type it up and stuff.
She found her address.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, if that's how you like cope with being upset, I don't know. There are worse ways, I guess.
Yeah, at least you didn't try and fight her.
Yeah. And yeah, like that's a weird thing to request from the teacher.
Yeah. Like what?
Especially like if it was like half the class and the other half wasn't going, then I feel like that would be more understandable. But 2 out of 32, like that's like, oh,
That's
okay,
crazy.
well, all these other people also didn't get invited. So yeah.
Hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Okay, this one was actually read by my cousin Andrea.
Shout out, Andrea.
Yeah, thank you so much for sending this. She's not the author of this. She didn't write it. So she's just reading it for us because we were looking for people to read them live. So she's going to read one here. Let's get into it.
Me and my partner always shared the same passion/dream of producing films and making a good team. I have been on sets before doing running to build up experience, and he attends acting classes. He has written scripts, which we discuss, and I provide ideas and feedback, which he implements and discusses. He recently told me he decided to use his savings to make a film from his script, (amazing), and had spoken with a director friend who agreed to direct and guide him. They've had meetings and arranged it, and the film is all set to go ahead. I asked if I could be involved and was told I could be there on the day and sit upstairs while it was happening. I asked about any more involvement but was told, "It's not like you're going to be stood with the director watching, are you?" He'd only give brief points after long meetings, and when I've given ideas and thoughts, I don't get a response. But then the director will say the same idea and he loves it. For example, I gave my suggestion for an actor from a list of applicants, but he hadn't watched the video and dismissed them due to a bad photo. The director said they were the best one, and so he watched and liked them a lot. He did pass on an idea I had, and when asked who I was, the director suggested I could be brought on to assist produce, (the dream), which my partner agreed. I asked if I could attend a meeting to hear all the fun discussions and be involved, and he said, "Why would you come? He's directing and it's my film. Why would you come to a meeting?" I said I genuinely feel I'd add value and want to learn alongside him. He says I am involved, but nothing is happening, so when I'm needed, he will give me a job. But I only hear about progress when I ask questions about it. I asked if I had been able to fund it with him, would that have changed anything, and he said of course. I'd be heavily involved and come to all meetings. I understand that, but equally he casts a friend to give him an opportunity, and the director has hired their partner to give them experience, so unsure why he sees it unreasonable for me. I understand it's his project and money. I should be grateful so far and have no right to be involved because he's my partner. I just don't feel involved and don't feel happy when he says how satisfied his people know his talent, how successful he will be, and what to wear for the premiere. I can't decide if I'm being the asshole and just jealous he is doing it and I'm not. I thought we'd do it together and I feel like he sees no value in me. He says it's not true and hopes I feel more involved now that I have a title. I just know if I had been the one to fund, then I'd have had him by my side from the start. I don't even know what to say to him because I feel dropped, but don't know if I'm right to feel that or if I'm just jealous and entitled.
Damn.
Thanks, Andrea.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it did sound like the person was trying to shut them out. Like the partner was like, "Oh, you're good," like, but at the same time, they were involved. Like the person, right? Like
Eventually.
Yeah, like they got a title on the movie.
But even then, even after they got a title on the movie, he he didn't want her to be at the meetings.
Yeah.
And I think they happened in that order.
Yeah.
So it seems like maybe he's not being clear about communicating to you like how much he wants you to be involved with this project in particular. Which is fair. He just needs to like vocalize that, and it seems like he's kind of just like stringing her along because I don't know, like he'll listen to her suggestions but then not do it until somebody else suggests it.
Yeah.
So I think that this is an opportunity for you to focus more on like what you have going on rather than like his project, which like I know has been like in the past has been like you work on things together, but yeah, it just seems like why would you want to be somewhere where you don't seem to be wanted, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and I think it's like, yeah, take the opportunities you can, but if your partner is like blocking you, like, then it's like, okay, but you already got the experience, so it's like, just don't work. But I don't. That's hard for me to understand. Like, I'd want my partner to be on the same thing with me. That'd be awesome. Like, what? That's weird. I mean, then that's a whole other thing too. Like, why is there so much resistance to it? You know. But yeah, I mean, super interesting scenario. I think it's a hard one because, like you're saying, like, do you feel entitled or not? You know. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're the asshole for feeling this way, but also like I don't know if he's the asshole either.
Yeah.
I guess if he's not being clear, then that would make him the asshole. But
I don't know if they're gendered, by the way. I don't know if they're.
Oh.
So it could be either one, but yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're right.
Yeah. So complicated. That was a good one though. I like those. The other ones were just were a little more like black and white, but this one was a little more thought provoking. So shout out to Andrea once again for picking it.
And shout out to the people that have asked us if we're going to record again.
Oh yeah,
I feel
back.
like you guys were the motivation to record again.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we're going to keep doing these as often as we can. And then hopefully, like we said, baby Groot, special guest, coming soon.
Yeah, we were hoping that she'd be here today, but it's okay. She's
in the next
nearby.
All right, guys. So remember to follow us. You can follow me at I am Cesar Rod. And you can follow me at The Rodriguez Show on Instagram.
You can follow Baby Groot on TikTok at
Groot Cat Activities.
You can follow me on Instagram. I will make an effort to post more often. It is Carla Rod 89.
Yeah. And that's it, guys. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you so much for watching. Take care.